Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Lisa Arrington. I'm here with you today, technically in the heart of nature. We are close to a road. You might hear some road sounds because that's just life, so I'm not going to worry about editing them out. But what I'm here to talk to you today about is a walk-in soul. So, what the heck is a walk-in soul? Um, Unfortunately, we don't have much hard data or evidence on what a walk-in soul is. There have been concepts historically, especially in the Hindu faith, of a walk-in soul. So, first and foremost, to understand this concept, we need to remove the idea that a soul can only enter the body at birth. There are tons of studies and stories of the soul entering the body after birth. For example, in India, there's an account of a man who swears up and down that he remembers the feeling of his soul entering his body at age 3 rather than at birth. For my own self, I actually had a near-death experience that was a little different from most people's. I did feel the sensation of my soul returning to my body actually multiple times. It was pretty wild and actually got pretty scary. But the point is, I am a true believer that yes, it is possible for your soul to enter or be channeled into a body while you're alive. Like, for example, right now, I'm in my 30s. And it's very possible that, let's say, my higher self comes in stronger, or if I'm needing help in a certain chapter of my life, I'm channeling the energy of soul within my soul family. But where my expertise comes in is I've experienced what a walk-in soul is firsthand after the loss or the death of my twin flame partner in 2021. At the time, I did not know he was my twin flame. As soon as he passed away, things didn't stop. I was actually on a walk that morning in January. It was seasonably warm. So I was taking a walk in a nature trail, much like the one I'm on. And when he passed, I felt that energy exchange. I felt just my whole world kind of shifted, and it was so intense that it stopped me dead in my tracks where I was walking. And I had to take inventory of myself, and I had to say, oh, am I okay? Is my child okay? And kind of go down the list and be like, okay, it's none of those. So what in the world am I experiencing? What I was experiencing were the symptoms of my twin flame soul, crossing over to the other side, if you will. And after that happened, I went on this pretty deep spiritual path of rediscovery, a reawakening. I learned to listen to the signs and the cues that I was getting. Because they were right. They were things that were benefiting my life. I had to learn to remove the fear and the doubt in myself, to listen, and also to sharpen my skills to actually connect with that other side and hear what spirit and the universe is trying to say to me. I did end up following those steps and listening to what was going on around me enough to actually find another person who actually channels the energy of my late twin flame, which would be considered a walk-in. So some people believe that walk-in souls, that scenario can only happen in times of severe trauma. For instance, let's say during my NDE, near-death experience, where I had just become a new mother in the same fell swoop. And my NDE was due to complications of a C-section, among other things. And so it's very possible that when I returned with maybe a different soul energy channeling in me to get me through the intense recovery period and to put me on track to being the mother that I am today. Or perhaps resolving things in past lives or other scenarios that my soul is here to do, that maybe I just needed a little help. And in that time of trauma, there was a window of opportunity for that soul energy to come in and enter my body here. I want to be very clear. that a walk-in soul is not possession. We are not talking about someone being possessed. We are not talking about a ghost. There's the big truck here, of course, right now as I'm talking about this. But those things are worldly vibrations. They are low vibrational. What I'm speaking of is only high vibrational. A walk-in can only occur when both souls agree. And if you're familiar at all with the concept of the more dynamic soul, you might be familiar with what's called a soul contract. So some people believe that before we're born, before we are brought to this earth, our higher self, our soul, basically gets together with our other souls that are in our little soul group, our soul family, our soul tribe. And they say, I want to go to earth to learn XYZ. I want this kind of experience. I want to know what it's like to have an alcoholic mother. I want to know what it's like to survive abuse. I want to know what it's like to learn grace from that. You can just go down the list from there. And so the other souls then say, all right, I've had this experience. I'm down to help you learn. And we create this contract with the other souls in our lives that says, okay, this person is going to enter our lives around this period to help us through whatever we're facing. So a true walk-in cannot occur unless you have both parties agreeing here. So in the case of my twin flame walk-in, the soul energy of my late twin flame would have to agree with the person in my life right now that it's okay for them to help out. Let's see here. Another thing about walk-ins is that there's no time limit on them. We don't know yet if most of them are permanent or if they fade in and out depending on the state of the ego of the host body, if you want to call it that. I don't like calling it that because I feel like it puts it, again, too close to those worldly concepts that we have of possession and these darker, negative, or low energy things. Again, it's not what we're talking about. We are talking about things that are happening out of the highest vibration and due to agreement. The walk-in can also occur at different levels of intensity. It can be like a channeling of energy where we just get a little help at the time we need it. Or it can be, and again, I hesitate to call it a takeover. It's not a takeover of a body, but it is where a step above channeling, right? Where a channel we might think of, we're still in our body. Our soul is still the pilot of our being. And we just kind of channel another being's energy. Whereas a more intense walk-in would be that soul kind of takes over and pilots ourselves, making the main decision for ourselves for a while, or for your partner. The signs of a walk-in are a little tricky to tell. I'm sure you can look it up and find signs and symptoms of walk-ins, but it's going to vary depending on your situation. And truly the only way that you can tell is by tapping into your own intuition and by doing meditation with the higher self of the person, whether that's you or someone else, really learning to communicate with that higher self as well as your spirit guides. They're the ones that are going to be able to give you the easiest answer for you to grasp. The answer might not come immediately. It might take multiple days or even weeks of meditations. They might send you, you might just see nothingness and blackness during these meditations and receive energy downloads in a different way that's going to come in subconsciously. You could receive bits and pieces of imagery, perhaps a scene from a different lifetime that, okay, now Spirit's telling you, you need to ask more questions about this lifetime, learn why it pertains to you, and that might unlock the key, the reason of why you're experiencing what you are. It's all about understanding the bits and pieces of yourself and what Spirit's trying to tell you about this walk-in. From my own personal experience, I've learned that walk-ins tend to fade when that person's ego gets really hyperactive, right? When the fear and the doubt just eats at them. It's harder to maintain that higher vibrational connection between whatever higher self is active and their own personal being. I love how the road is getting very active the more that I'm getting deeper into this. But walk-ins can be very essential. Again, they are usually for very positive reasons, for reasons that we may not understand in the current moment, but document, 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 document everything. Document the synchronicities you see, document your dreams. You can even learn to do practices like working with the violet flame to alchemize energy within yourself through this. There's likely some healing that the walk-in is going to help you with, whether that's in yourself or someone else. If it's happening in your life, it's happening for a reason. And chances are that it's for a good reason. You, again, might not understand it now, but it's important to work with this energy so long as, again, you feel protected, you feel that this is happening in the light, not in the dark. If you feel any doubt that, okay, this is kind of shady, I'm not comfortable with this, again, go back to meditation. Work with your higher self and your spirit guides. Ask them what you need to get the clarity in order to be comfortable enough with this situation. And if it turns out that this is something you need to step away from, they will make that very clear, and you will know that. You'll get confirmation of that. So you will never have to be exposed to something that you yourself don't agree to as well. I wish I could go into the details of how a walk-in soul occurs, as far as, do they have to be similar to ourselves or not? We don't have any data on that yet. But there are questions like, if I'm experiencing a walk-in, or my partner, for example, is experiencing a walk-in effect of my late twin flame, what does that mean for that person's soul? Does that mean that they're still in that body, or have they kind of gone to hang out back in the 5D other side while this soul kind of plays it out? Again, these are answers that are going to vary with each situation, is going to be different. And if you want those answers, the best way to find that is in meditation. It is to paying attention to your surroundings. Anything as small as a blue heron passed me by earlier, and that is significant to me because when I was first going through this journey, I would see a blue heron all the time walking along that trail after my twin flame died, as just a little, almost like a little, hey, I'm here. I also recently had a dream about my twin flame 1 or 2 nights ago. I rarely dream about the people I know. So for him to be there was pretty spectacular. It was a sign to me that, hey, this is significant. Pay attention to what's going on in your surroundings. Pay attention to what you're feeling in your body. Heal things if needed. Take the time for yourself. These are all very important things. And I also have another video, the 9 steps to essentially bring about your own miracle if you're on the spiritual journey as well, that might be helpful. So I hope this helped clarify just a little bit of what the heck a walk-in soul is, what it means, when it can happen, and how you can clarify if that's what you're experiencing in your life. So peace, love, and yeah.